I guess this will be a series. My younger daughter was told by her foster mother that I didn't love her. I may have mentioned this on previous years. It was completely and utterly untrue. And if it had been true, I certainly wouldn't have taken 6 straight days out of April '93 to fight for her in a civil court, where I was under no legal obligation to be whatsoever. I could have thrown my hands in the air and said, do what you like, if I didn't love her. But I did. It actually was not planned when I went to Itchen College that, I would be next door to her school. It was a very strange thing. I did still love my mother very much at the time of her death. And the most peculiar idea came into my head, that I had never made her proud of me in her life, and I would do it after her death. I guess I still did have at that time some idea of heaven, and that she was there and that she could see. And I carried on with evening classes for 2 years after her death, and then having acquired the requisite 9 O-levels to get into college and do A-levels, although I could have done the access route, I wanted to do it the proper way. I went to Itchen College to get A-levels so that I could go on and do a degree, to make my mother proud of me, post-mortem, so to speak. And Itchen College, quite simply, was A, very close to me. It was, a mile's walk, which was absolutely nothing to me then. And B, there was an advert in the paper. It had opened itself up to mature students. And I was the first and only during my time there. And it was a delightful experience, and when I look back at my life, as I'm spending a considerable amount of time doing now, it was one of the best periods. And there is a kind of guilt in saying that, because of that court case, but which did come out of a blue sky completely. Perhaps I'm rambling, and perhaps it's not for upload. My solicitor actually gave me some bad advice, because initially it was all about contact and nothing else. It was about a reduction in contact between my younger daughter and I. And it was that I was fighting. And my solicitor said, well, now that they've put in for adoption, which, by the way, the foster parents did not want, and said they did not want, he recommended that I put in for a residence order. And the horrid truth is, by that time, I didn't think it was a good idea. I didn't think it was a good idea. Not because it would have interrupted the education I'd begun, or anything like that. But because I had lost confidence in my ability to be a mother. And the court case finished that completely. Because though I knew that numerous whopping lies were being told. It sunk me as a mother. It absolutely shredded me. I didn't believe that I could successfully parent any child. And that, of course, led to disaster when my daughter's foster mother threw her out when she was 16. Absolute disaster. I remember the phone call. I was on a bus passing the university, and it was in the summer of 2000. I'd left university 2 years previously, but I can picture exactly where I was when my mobile phone went off and the foster mother said, "You can have her now." I don't like her. I never liked her. I don't care what happens to her. Those were her words. I'm sorry, but she is among the people I will hate until my last breath, which by the feels of it at the moment is not very far away. My younger daughter was left with the impression, well, years and years of being told that I didn't love her for a start. And then eventually I said no, she could not come home with. Having cleared out her bedroom completely so that she could put all her own stuff into it. And a summer of trying to make it come together in that year of 2000. I hope one day she does listen to this, actually, because I want both my daughters to know that I love them, that I love them, that I fought for them, and that as bad as it might have been, I did the best that I could. It was the best that I could.